Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Fed Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is October 12, 2023, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, both Meta and Google making new yearly highs and have been both very strong. But first, looking at today's major economic events, so out of the United States at 2:30 South African time, we have a very important inflation report called the CPI, Core Price Index. You do want to know what's coming out. Now, looking at the various markets going into this number, starting out with the Forex symbols, the Euro and the GBP continue to climb even higher. That trend has been confirmed. They're on resistance-ish level if we look at a weekly chart. But first, looking at the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ, both continue to climb as well. And as we look at commodities, gold continues to extend those gains while oil sells off. Now, looking at the stock, tech stocks lift up the market. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin retraces. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. First starting out with the Euro USD, and it's on a key level. Look at this. We're looking at a weekly chart. We don't normally start with a weekly chart, but here we go. We are at 106 and we are at resistance. And you can see that faint line that we have right here. Okay, I'm going to give you the crosshairs because this software doesn't have the script anymore, unfortunately. So here we go. You can see the crosshairs right here. Okay, right there, right above. We're hitting that 106.7. There's a faint line. That's a red line. That was and is the downwards trend line. Now, that was what was drawn, and it has respected it up until this point. Now, the question is whether or not it will break above or not, okay? And this is where you separate when it's a strong or when it was just a bounce. Even if it's a multi-week bounce, it could be a bounce still, and this is why it's really important. Now, the GBP is doing the same thing, only just looking at a longer time frame, okay? But it's doing the same thing. If we look at it, it's trading in par with the euro. So no one is necessarily stronger versus the dollar currently right now. The Japanese yen really just tapering off, not doing anything. So this is a little bit tricky to trade this right now. Now jumping into commodities. Okay, here we go with gold. Continue that upwards momentum. I mean, this doesn't get easier than that. Just buy and hold, and that's it. Okay, that's what you got to do here. Crude oil did retrace back to that $83 a barrel, and that closed the gap, right? We had the gap up, and then we hang on to our gains, and then we petered out, and we filled in the gap. That was a clear indication at 83 to buy it and make that 89 cents. Not bad for a one-day trade. Now jumping to the U.S. markets. Okay, here is the Dow Jones. Dow Jones continues to climb. Day to day continues to climb. Okay, now we are trading at 34,000. That's 1,000 points off of when, and I kept on saying it. We're at 200 points now. We're 500 points, 700 points now, 1,000 points above where we sold off to. Okay, so we're almost at that 50% line, and that 50% line would be closer to that 34,300-ish level. Now looking at the NASDAQ, much stronger. This is where really you see the tech stocks are really lifting up the markets. Now this time it was Adobe. Adobe lifted the markets the most yesterday, but still Facebook made all-time highs. Look at that. 327 doesn't get better than that. Would you have not wished to have bought it at $99 just last October of last year? Unbelievable. In 1 year, this thing has tripled in value, and we're making new highs for the year. Now, looking also at Google, did the same thing. Let's take a look at it. There we go. There we find Google hitting $141 a share. If we look at a weekly chart, can't see it because it's after it got split, but clearly making new highs, very strong. And this rotation will continue to happen. One time it's Google, one time it's Facebook, one time it's Apple. That will continue until we get some clear indication from when we have our earning reports towards the end of the month. So that is key as we're going into these numbers. Now, looking at the other big techs, not everything went. If we look at Microsoft, continued gaining, but not big. If we look at Apple, not big. Again, did gain, but not big. Okay, so you got to look at the market leaders and who is following. And right now, it's Facebook, Meta, or Google that is making us even higher. Now, looking at the other semiconductors, not doing much either. Intel, AMD, and NVIDIA, all making gains, nice gains, don't get me wrong, but they're not making new record highs, okay? And we're getting closer to this end of the month, and I can't emphasize this a month. It's going to be very, very exciting to see when all these stocks come out with their earning reports. Now, looking at Bitcoin retraced, nice little retracement. Again, not a big trade. Nothing really big hitting us here. It's very, very choppy as that continues, and you can see that clearly as this continues to give us some choppy markets. So focus on the US markets. Much better gains there, much more volatility. The trend is your friend, and it's clear and has a characteristic. Thank you for joining us for the daily review. We'll see you here tomorrow. Thank you.